Take three, baby. Existentialism is taking its toll on me and also the English language. What is the attempt? I don't know because it's old. And as you age, your brain cells, they mature to do what is appropriate. And it's not really appropriate to try to remember things that are over 5 years old. So, over 5 years ago, I started thinking, man, I sure do like music. Maybe I should start a YouTube channel. And there's a bunch of things I wanted to do which kind of blew my mind. Truth is, I went on holiday 5 weeks ago, and it's so beautiful. It is so fucking beautiful, which allows me to sort of shed the layers and not think about why I'm doing it, but just sort of accept that I'm doing it. I almost filled out my obligations for today, the old Maslow's pyramid thing. I actually forgot to do something I need to do later, which is journal about the last couple weeks. It's just nuts that I could forget something like that. But anyhow, this is gonna matter in the future. I filled out my obligations, and I thought about giving in to the voluptuous nature of creation again, and just like entering the night of not knowing what I'm doing but connecting to something somehow, maybe. Meaning like making this video. I thought about it, but I thought I'd make it after going in the garden and reading some Herbert. So on the 22, I don't know how you guys say dates. On the 22nd of December 2017, I quit my first school that I was doing. That was like after graduation. I didn't really know I was quitting, but it was just sort of like the holiday, and I ended up not going back. And I went home and pulled out this Dune book in French that we snatched from the local library when they were being given away or whatever, because they were damaged or something, so they had to throw them away. We just got them, and I had read it years and years before that and enjoyed it a bunch, so I just picked it back up to do something, because it was sort of like a lot, this school. So I was just back and I was reading that, and then my birthday's a few days after that, so we went to my grandparents, and I brought the book, and I never saw it again. I have no idea, dude. I have no idea if I left it there, if I never brought it in the first place and it just disappeared somewhere in my house. Maybe I tried to reach out to do something to get it back, but I just never did, and it's one of the things that I think back to when I try to figure out what went wrong. Not that I'm sure that something did. I said that I was lost already, but lost doesn't really mean anything. Truth is, there's been a lot of bad stuff. It is so boring to be it is so boring to be nuanced and like to say, yeah, but it's all about your perception. It's so boring. Like I was about to say, yeah, I just felt bad, so it doesn't necessarily mean that my situation was bad and I'm privileged and etc., which, yeah, that's true. When you feel like shit, you feel like shit, and that's it. And there was a lot of feeling like shit, and there didn't used to be. So I was thinking for a few years, I guess, about what the fuck went wrong. And that was one of the events that I saw as like a big actual failure, even though it's so irrelevant, but I ended up never reading again. And I already wasn't reading back then. This was sort of a desperate attempt to get back into something that had carried me through my childhood. My child. Woo! Hold on. Childhood. And so, brain's rusty, dude. I tried, and that was fucking 4 years ago, almost, and I just, never did it again, so I just ordered the first 3 Dune books on Amazon. Thanks, Bezonaire. Fuck, man. I did that, and they came, and it's in English now, so I can practice my English, and got in the garden, but then I was gonna be home alone, so I thought I'd use the opportunity to do this, and this is such a messy start, but what I was thinking about is the beauty of another even longer full circle, right? A different one from the Dune cycle, where I was trying to not quit reading with Dune, and now I'm trying to learn to read again with Dune in another language, in another universe, in another end of a country and stuff like that. But there's an even older one which is about Coldplay, and even some older ones. So during those holidays 5 weeks ago, I arrive, right, and I have a lot on my mind, and so I go to my thinking spot, and instead of thinking or talking, I'm crying. I just put on The Scientist and I'm bawling, and I'm singing along to it. And I don't know how to describe it now. It's just had a lot on my mind, and it was a beautiful experience. So that happens, and I instantly think, and I can probably say this, it doesn't really matter one way or the other, because this is all, the audience is very much down the line. The thought that any of you guys, and I sort of like took that habit of talking to the audience as like guys, even though I know it's not just guys, but I don't know what else to use. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Fuck, I'm too apologetic. I just like guys. Is that fine? Oh, sounded okay. I'm setting up my defense. No. Okay. The idea of talking to any of you guys and you guys being interested is like a 5-year thing, at least, I think. Like the thought that anybody might care about what I'm saying, it's all very far down the line, and I won't have to worry about giving out this kind of information because it will be revealed already. I just decided to start a new YouTube channel and to do The Scientist first on it, just live with a piano and my voice, and that's it. And then life kept happening, and I kept being who I am, which is somebody with neck problems. Because I look back all the time. Literally that, by the way. I was looking back at some old messages, and I found messages from like summer of 2016 where I was saying, I'm working on a guitar solo that will go over any magic chords that are the same as The Scientist. I'm so shit at music theory, I couldn't even tell you the numbers around from the top of my head, but you know the ones. Because I said I want to do a cover of it, right? 5 years ago, and I had no idea. It shocked me to my core, because I was like, what? This is the first time I'm thinking about this. What is this? I actually learned The Scientist on piano maybe in 2015 14, something wild like that. It's just one of those songs my dad always put on. I'm sure I'll talk about that. The point is, you guys are learning shit that I'm learning as well. I want to talk about the first iteration, and the first iteration is much older than I actually thought. The idea is old. And what is the idea? What is the attempt? The attempt is to share. I don't know how I saw it back then. I'm wildly different, obviously. Maybe it was completely selfish. Maybe I just wanted attention, views to fuel my ego, money, fame? Who knows? I don't know what I wanted exactly. But whether I wanted it or not, when you make a YouTube channel, it's about sharing. So I guess that's the attempt I'm referring to. Sharing, and later on, I really started understanding connecting. That's the attempt. The attempt starts maybe when I start thinking, it'd be good to go in the studio and record a cover album with I Shot the Sheriff, The Woman No Cry, Hey Joe, Little Wing, The Scientist. What else was there? Who knows? Hotel California, Californication maybe? Just some old, classics that I already sort of... It's funny, looking back at this stuff, it's all mythical stuff that built my musical perception and sensibility. But even back then I was very much aware that was all the big stuff, the mainstream stuff. Now I know that I wasn't a music nerd and that I didn't know any niche things and stuff like that. Back then I already felt it. I already felt that my taste was really mainstream, I guess. Just the big rock songs, right? Or reggae or whatever. And after going on studio, posting this stuff on YouTube, and I actually was inspired by some girl at my high school that did montages of her and her guitar and singing and drumming on the guitar with her hands and stuff like that, and I never posted them. That was early 2016, and the idea of the YouTube thing bloomed in my head at that time, and then I completely gave up on it and I had no idea. And I kept it for over a year, just a background thing in my head that I never tried to act on. So at the beginning of 2018, Dolores O'Riordan dies. I talk about it. I'm bawling. I'm this is my childhood, I'm bawling. I'm talking about it with a friend. She's bawling, and I'm touched. And something shatters. It wasn't really that bad, but maybe it's the ego shattering, the fear, the whatever was holding me back. And I'm just making a cover of Promises and having just this insane blast doing the little stupid arrangements and tracking it. It felt like I had never really felt that way. It was just so obvious, and it felt like I should have been doing this for so long, and I had never recorded anything like this really alone, or just even two guitars at the same time. I don't think I had ever really done that. Actually I had, but not two lead guitars or whatever. It doesn't matter, right? I just felt it, and I was it was such a pure feeling that I was feeling like I could never ever go back to school again. So I do that. I spend hours mixing it. I love mixing it. I mix it with my shitty Sony, $30 Sony headphones that I got with my iPod at like 10. I'm privileged. And I have a blast, and I post it on fucking YouTube. And that's it. I'm a YouTuber. I have a YouTube channel. I name it my name. And I get going, and I just keep posting stuff. I post stuff that is old and new, and like, just post whatever. And I don't care about it. I don't even think about it. I just do it. And God, I don't care about the views. If the views are there, it's good. If they're not there, I keep posting. And I keep posting, and no one gives a shit, and it's okay. And it feels amazing because I'm sharing, because I'm finally doing this thing that, just feels like it should have been happening years prior to that. And me looking up at my friends, my musical friends in high school, and even before that and stuff like that, it sort of just felt like I wanted to be part of this thing one way or the other. And so I couldn't really join their bands and stuff like that, and so I do this thing later, right, based on my dreams of being them or connecting with people in their way or something like that. So it already feels a little bit like old. It already feels like it's based on a lie, but I don't think about it. It's just, it feels like it should have happened sooner. Again, I don't think I was thinking about it. I think I was just proud. But it's just this overnight mistake that I made of posting my first video. Oh fuck, you guys can find out so easily, actually. This overnight mistake was not an overnight mistake at all. It's one of my proudest accomplishments, honestly, the first year of this channel, and just like not giving a shit, posting whatever. That was just so good. It's just so much healthier for, on the artistic side, to not have an audience that you mind, to not care about what people think, to not care about the views, to post audio without video, to just post a demo that you made a year ago or something. And name it whatever, and write no keywords, not know what YouTube tags are, and hashtags and playlists and optimization and all that stuff. Just not know anything. That is so cool. So that's how it happened. The first attempt, the first iteration, but it wasn't about me any more than it was about the art. And I never shared things about me, and I didn't even think about it. It didn't even cross my fucking mind to say anything. I was just like, I'm a musician, like, but again, I didn't think about it. I just like, I think if someone even told me about it, it would feel so gross. I'd be like, no, I can't talk. What are you talking about? Why would I talk about anything? What do I have to bring? Like, I would be so confused. I would be like, but this is a YouTube channel. This is the thing. This is the idea. This is Hey Joe and No Woman No Cry. This is my albums and my songs and stuff like that. I can't talk. What are you, crazy? I would have, though. I definitely would have, and I know that because I did. I would have talked without caring at all, just like the way I posted my art or wrote my songs. I talked freely, but I simply didn't even see it. Like the first time I talked on the channel, I must have been saying stuff about the first video I made actually, and I explained the recording process and like how mixing things quiet can actually be a strength, and overdubs and stuff like that. So earlier, that long silence was me losing my train of thought, and I don't want to edit, so I'll make a video about losing my train of thought and why I think it's interesting next time. But this is the first attempt. This is what happened to me. This, seemingly stupid frenzy that I went on, and I posted pictures of my feet playing my synth on my Facebook page and stuff like that night, and people thought I was cracked, and probably kind of was, but just a thing that had nothing to do with the way people view you, and nothing to do with my future, and nothing to do with a career or money or anything like that. It had to do with love and loss and friendship and tears, and built up a built up willingness to share stuff. And I did it, and now I'm doing it in a very different way. I think back then, if I were asked or told that I can't say stuff back at the beginning of my first channel, I would have been like, I don't know. As I said, I was just back home from this crazy school thing, and I was very much still feeling stuff. And now I'm like, I can actually look back on this stuff, and I've started to process it enough so that I can talk about it in a way that is somewhat intelligible. But back then, like, I would have just been completely weird, insane, like impossible to get, and well, I'll never know if that's the case or not, but it just turns out that I didn't even think of it anyway. That's just who I was. I'll see you next time.